Hey!
Hello!
Letters to Lucie.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel and my show Letters to Lucie, where I read your letters out loud and respond verbally however I see fit. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe right now in the corner and join the family, and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for the episode. This one is all about hardships, bullying, and staying positive in the face of adversity. Got my computer with all of my letters from you. If any of you out there have questions for me and want to be featured on a future episode of Letters to Lucie, just shoot your questions over to lucie@luciefink.com. Let me know in the email if you want to remain anonymous or if it's okay for me to shout out your name. First letter. Hi Lucie, I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while and I love the 5-day challenge ones. My name is Zeruhi and I'm 15, almost 16, and from California. I guess one of my questions would have to be, how do you stay focused on things you do, and how do you stay organized? Also, have you ever been in a bad place in your life, and how did you get through it, and how did you stay positive and keep smiling? Oh, and if you weren't doing YouTube, what would you be doing? Anyway, love your videos, love you, keep doing what you're doing, and can't wait to see what you will do in 2019. All love, Zeruhi. All love to you too. In regards to your first questions about staying focused and staying organized, I'm gonna have to point to my bullet journal. Bullet journaling is something that I took up a couple of years ago because of a Refinery 29 video that I was making, and I fell in love. I probably still haven't shared with you guys my 2019 bullet journal, although maybe by the time this episode comes out, I will have shared it with you. But I decided to scrap all of the colorful, crafty bullet journal things that I've been doing in the past and focusing on a really minimalistic bullet journal that's helping me achieve tasks. White paper, black pen, no colors, no spreads. It's just very simple and it has an organized to-do list. It's been really helpful for staying focused and staying on task. In regards to your question about being in a bad place, of course I've been in a bad place in my life. Even though my life on social media might look like a string of happiness, one thing after the other, every single human life is a roller coaster of emotions at all times. Social media for most people is just a highlight reel of the best moments, so it's not necessarily accurate. So definitely don't feel like you're alone if you're going through highs and lows. What I will say is that you can adjust your mindset to have a more positive outlook on things so that when things don't go well, you don't get as down about it. I tend to believe everything happens for a reason, and sometimes that mindset helps me get through really crappy situations. I just think maybe one day I'll know the reason, even though it's not clear to me right now. One day maybe it will all come back to me why this situation needed to happen the exact way it did, so it's all okay. It seems based on your questioning about positivity and how to keep smiling that you're really chasing happiness. So I'm going to tell you one thing that I recently heard Deepak Chopra say on a podcast. He was asked, how do you stay happy? What is making you happy in life right now? And his response was, there's nothing that's making me happy in life right now. I'm happy because I'm just happy. And my happiness isn't tied to specific things, because the truth is, everything we have, whether it's a physical object or a relationship, it's impermanent, and you don't want to tie your happiness to these things that are always at risk of going away. Happiness should just be something that you feel and have for yourself. If you weren't doing YouTube, what would you be doing? If I wasn't doing YouTube right now, I would be a dermatologist, popping people's pimples and pulling splinters out of people's feet. I love splinters. This is really gonna sound gross, but I love picking at skin, cleaning people up from cuts, and I'm just really into that bloody stuff. All right, on that note, next letter. My name is and I'm 12 years old, and I love you and your work. This year I started 6th class, my last year in primary school, and on the first day of school, my dad told me that my granddad had passed away during the night. He died on the 30th of August, and it was my first experience with death, and sometimes I just miss him so much that I have breakdowns at school, at home, or in bed. This year will be my first Christmas without him, and it is so hard to see my granny without him. I was wondering if you could tell me how to deal with loss, especially during Christmas. If you wouldn't mind, could you keep my name anonymous? Lots of love, and thanks for doing this. XXX. First and foremost, I just want to apologize greatly for not getting this video out to you in time for Christmas. I really hope that you made it through okay, and I'm sending so much love from New York all the way to you. The first thing I want to say is I'm so sorry for your loss. Death is a really, really difficult thing to deal with, especially for someone who's 12 years old. Through the computer, I'm holding your hand and I'm sending you love and positive healing vibes, and I really, really feel for you. I lost my grandma just a little bit after you did when I was in high school, and that was actually the only grandparent of mine that I ever knew. So all 3 of my other grandparents had passed away before I was even born. So I lost my one and only grandma, and I know exactly what you're going through. Even though it doesn't feel like it now, the thing I will tell you is that as time passes, you will see that you might actually pretty soon be able to think about your grandfather without bursting out into tears, and maybe even years down the line, you'll be able to think about him and you'll actually smile. So definitely keep in the back of your mind that as time goes on, this wound will heal, and really time is the only thing that's gonna make it heal. In the meantime, if you're thinking of ways that you can cope with this so that you just don't burst out into tears in the middle of school, I would suggest setting aside some time in the morning when you can sit and just think about this situation and cry if that's what you need to do. I love the phrase let it out, and I think if you just give yourself some time in the morning for the next week or so and really bring your thoughts to the place that's really the hardest place to go to and let yourself cry and let it out, maybe it will help get some of that sadness out of your system so that you don't have these random eruptions in the middle of the school day. But I also will say that it's very normal to have these random eruptions, especially at a time like this. So just try to remember that your friends and your teachers and your community are all there for you. Next letter. My name is and I'm a 6th grader in Ohio who loves crafts and playing The Sims 4. At school, I love to look my best, but recently I've been getting comments like people call me elephant or Bigfoot, and they make mean jokes about my size. I used to think bullying never actually happened to people, but it makes me really sad, and I want some advice on how to deal with it because I've asked them to stop, but they won't. I would also like to please remain anonymous. I am so sorry that people at school are treating you this way and calling you mean names. This is totally not okay. You're just now coming to terms with the fact that bullying does exist, and the fact is it does exist, and it's an epidemic, and it's horrible, and it seems like you're in a situation right now where you've already asked them to stop and they're not stopping. So my advice to you is get adults involved. Sometimes, especially at the 6th grade level, kids just don't know if they're doing something that's really, really harmful to someone else, and they might actually need an adult to jump in to tell them how harmful they're being. There are certain things that kids just can't deal with on their own, and that's why schools have guidance counselors and teachers and adults, and it seems like you're in a situation right now where one of those adults needs to intervene. So I would highly suggest reaching out, asking for help, and getting an adult involved. I really hope your situation improves. Next letter. Hey Lucy, I'm Sarah and I'm from Mexico. I love #TryLivingWithLucy, and I've watched every episode several times. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. I've been feeling really down this past year. I lost all my friends. I began writing, which is my passion, but I'm getting second thoughts. I'm not good enough to be doing this. What if all of this is pure BS and I'm embarrassing myself? I feel really lonely and unloved. I know you can't fix my life, but can you give me any advice? What are some things you incorporate in your life to make it better? Hope you read my letter. Happy life, Lucy. The first thing that jumps out to me about your letter is the line, I know you can't fix my life, but can you give me any advice? Especially for anyone else out there who might have similar problems that's hearing me read these letters and is taking this advice. I just want to make sure all of you out there know that I can give you advice and I can give you my thoughts and opinions, but the truth is I can't fix your lives. Only a mental health professional can help you sort through the problems that you're having and actually get to the bottom of things and hopefully get on a course to make things better, especially if you're experiencing depression or feeling like you're unloved. All of these words that are jumping out to me, feeling lonely. I really would suggest seeking professional help for this because I am going to give you my advice, but I can't fix everything. Another thing that's really jumping out to me from this letter is that you're really seeking more happiness in your life. So I want to share something with you that a monk that I met in Japan told me. He told me that he frequently finds that people are seeking happiness in their life. If you ask someone, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Pretty much all they say is, I just want to be happy. As if happiness is a destination that they're currently on the road to. What he says is that that's not actually the case at all, and that happiness is not a destination or a place we get to where all of a sudden we're just happy. But that happiness is just an emotion. The same way that sadness is an emotion, and fear is an emotion, and excitement is emotion. So there are times when we're going to be happy, and there are times when we're going to be sad. And there are times when we're going to be excited, and there are times when we're going to be scared. And he actually drew something like this that looked like a roller coaster showing the emotions of life. And I'm telling you this, Sarah, because you're a writer, and you know that being a good writer means that you're good at telling stories, and having a good story requires this up and down situation. He even equated it to a Disney movie where he said, think of the best Disney movie you know that has the best outcome. There's some crappy stuff that happens in that movie. People die, people get hurt, people fail. There's a lot of bad stuff going on, which makes the good stuff so much better. So if you're seeking happiness in your life, try to not look at happiness as a destination that you're getting to, but just realize happiness is an emotion. You're gonna have happy times and you're gonna have sad times. And this might be completely contradictory to the Deepak Chopra thing that I said earlier about how you should just be happy for no reason at all. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I sort of agree with both theories. You should just be happy being who you are, but you should also realize that happiness is just an emotion that might rise and fall as your day goes on and happens. In regards to your questions, what are some things that you can incorporate in your life to make it better? For me, I find that to feel my happiest and my most wholesome self, I really have to focus on myself. And so for me, that's trying new skills, getting out there and meeting new people, engaging in the community, doing things that I love, really giving myself the time to take care of myself and to engage in activities that I actually love. I also do have a whole video out on this YouTube channel about how I stay positive, and that sounds like something you might want to check out. So I'll link it up right here. And if you don't see it here, check the description box. Next letter. Hi Lucy, my name is I'm 15 years old and come from England, but live out in Germany and have been for 10 years. It's really incredible and I love it so much, but sadly we have to leave next year due to the area I'm living in being shut down. It's been a really tough time this year and I cannot wait to get 2018 out of my hair. The worst thing is I'm now at a boarding school and I was wondering if you could give me some advice on homesickness. I found it's really tough to settle into living away from my parents and sister because I'm a very family-oriented and reliant person and need some help if you don't mind. I hope you have a great day. Hey, I'm totally with you on getting 2018 out of our hair. So happy 2019 is here. Welcome to the future. So sorry I couldn't respond to this letter in 2018, but this seems like a better time to respond. 2019 is a lot better than 2018 was, for me too. I don't have first-hand experience with being an incredibly homesick person. I actually wanted to go to summer camp and beg my parents to let me go years before they actually let me go. But my twin sister Allie was a very homesick person, so I do have first-hand experience dealing with a homesick person and helping someone get through it. But I will tell you that the emotions you're experiencing are totally normal. So when you're used to one place and you live in one spot surrounded by the same people, and then you move to a completely new spot and start a new school and you're not with any of the same people, it can be really difficult. And the truth is, if you're at a boarding school, there are likely some other people right around you that are going through the exact same thing, even if they're not showing it on the surface. There's really not much advice you can give someone who's homesick, but you do have an advantage that people in years past did not have when they were homesick, and that is modern technology. So even though you don't want to totally engross yourself in phone calls and FaceTimes with your family and be totally not present where you are in school, I think it is a great idea, especially if you're really homesick, to make a set time every night when you're going to call your family. Maybe that will help you get through the day knowing that you have a call coming up, and it will also help you focus wherever you are at the moment because you won't be thinking, should I call them now? Should I call them later? You'll have a set time. When Michael and I were in a long-distance relationship in college and we were homesick from one another, we did this really fun thing. We would set up our computers on Skype, we'd open them, plug them in so they didn't die, and we'd adjust the settings so that they never went to sleep so that Skype never closed. And we'd set them up right next to our beds. We'd fall asleep and then we'd wake up and the other person would be right there, and it was almost like we had a virtual sleepover. That's something that I've also done with my sister when we're not together, and so you mentioned here that you miss your sister, so maybe try a Skype sleepover. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Letters to Lucy. The light is really leaking onto my bed right now, so I'm gonna definitely close down the video camera. But before I do that, just wanted to let you know, if you need any advice and want to write in, please email lucy@lucyfink.com for the chance to be featured in a future episode of Letters to Lucy, and let me know in your email if you want to remain anonymous or if it's okay for me to say your name out loud. Sending so much love from me to you. Bye.
Letters to Lucy.
Hey YouTube, I'm really loving this light right now, so I'm just going to do the YouTube call out right here. Click here for another episode of Letters to Lucy and here to subscribe to my channel. Bye.